What is going on, guys? Welcome to CritsNGrins Waterdeep Dragon Heist Session 0. How are you guys doing? You guys doing okay?
Oh man.
Still good?
Yeah, I'm doing
Mondo
good.
put glasses on since the last time I was looking at his face.
Yeah. That's my bit.
No
Everyone
bit.
was supposed to put glasses on. Is everyone wearing glasses? Let me look.
Almost everyone but me. Hold on, I got.
That's the bit. That's the bit.
Hold on, I got it. Give me a second. My glasses are right over there. But, well, welcome everybody to Session 0. Character creation stuff. I'm really excited to finally be doing Waterdeep. Anyway, but let's go ahead and we'll introduce ourselves real quick. We'll have Alex go first since he is the DM. And, yeah, take it away.
My name's Alex. Apparently, I like PvP,
Mhm.
so DMing should be fun. No, I've DM'd before. I have 2 games of this running, and both of them are vastly different from each other. So I'm excited to see where this one lands. Plus, the glorious Mondo is in this game, so it's quite a treat to see him as a player.
It is a treat. He hasn't played since 1992, guys. So this will be interesting. Very close.
I've played very rarely.
Yeah. Well, Mondo, go ahead.
I'm Mondo. I play D&D very rarely. But I've been a DM since like 1982.
I'm playing a lot.
Yeah. And yeah, almost never as a player. As a player in a homebrewed campaign for about a month recently, and then I did that episode of a couple of episodes of
Lost Shaman.
Lost Shaman.
Yeah, what a bummer.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. This is good, man. And I own like all the D&D books except for this one and the one after.
Yeah.
Because I want to be completely. I don't want to like have to go. Ooh, I'm gonna not metagame, and
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I really want to be surprised.
Yeah. Do you find yourself like as soon as you play a couple games, you're like, damn, I really want to DM again, or do you just like, yes, I get to play? That's all I wanted to think about was playing.
You know, when I had that monk recently in that Jeff campaign, yeah, no, I didn't miss DMing. I mean, I was DMing other games at the time.
Yeah.
But I was really having a good time
Just playing.
being a player. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Just showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best. Just being there. Not having to worry about
Not
things.
knowing if I'm gonna die. I might die.
Yeah, fair. You might die. Max Dragon, why don't you go next, man? Let's go down the line.
Yeah, sure. I'm Max, also known as Carlos, well, that's my real name. I've been recruiting for with the 8th or 3rd campaign, which was with Jeff, which was really fun. That was actually my second time ever playing D&D.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It is fun to see, like, getting people on the show for the first time, because most people have played D&D a little bit before they get on. But it's always nice to have someone who's like, oh, it's my second time. I think Paul, for Tombs of Annihilation, that was, like, his first time playing. So that's always really fun. I'm glad to have you back, and hopefully last a little bit longer than Dirge. So
Yeah.
we can keep it going. Kindle, why don't you go next, man?
Oh, yes. My name is also Jason. I'm glad to be here. I've played D&D since like '99. I've been a DM for most of the time as well, but been really enjoying 5th. Haven't played too many of the modules. Excited to get into Waterdeep. That'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, it seems like that can be a real, like, when I run into people, it's a lot of the times I've DM'd the majority of my D&D career, which is weird because it seems like there'd be vastly more players. Usually, right? There's one DM per campaign, 4 to 5 players, but it always seems like the DMs are the ones who stay around. Always, they're just in it. So that's cool. I'm glad that we could get you a time to play. Also, in terms of modules, I think the only actual module I played is Tomb of Annihilation, and I'm still playing that. It's been fun, but I am excited to be in, like, it's such a total difference of in the jungle, no civilization, to you're in a city. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, I'm excited, and I wonder if things will bleed over. If I'll start acting crazy because I'm not in a jungle. But we'll see. Kyle, man. Why don't you go
Hello.
next?
I'm Chask, otherwise known as Kyle. Been playing tabletop for 5 years now. D&D 5th edition for at least a year or so. It's probably technically the second module I've played, although probably the first one I've actually gone all the way through, because I bailed out of my Tomb of Annihilation game after about a month.
How many sessions did you guys play?
Okay, maybe it was more than a month. Probably 8
Okay,
on a
so
weekly basis.
Yeah, 2 months. Yeah, we're not that much further than that, but I feel like I don't know if we've moved. I feel like we've moved very slowly, because like week 12 and we're not too deep into it. Maybe we are. I don't know.
It's that module moves from group to group. It depends on how everyone advances quickly.
Yeah.
And it took us of those 2 months, the first month just to get into the jungle. So.
Oh yeah, it took us like what, one session? I think it took us one session to
kind of just about.
Yeah, so maybe we did. Maybe like the first 2 went quick, and then we kind of
You
took
guys
our
were,
foot
like,
off the gas
so
pedal.
eager to get into the jungle.
We're like, it's Tomb of Annihilation. Let's go fucking die. Like, let's go do this thing. So,
There are dinosaur races. Screw that.
yeah, we just left. Yeah. I don't know why. And then we even made our way back, and we still left in like 5 seconds. We're like, nah, we're over it. But yeah, welcome guys. Like I said, it's gonna. Hopefully, we can go week to week and just continue playing until we get through. Luckily, that the modules levels 1 through 5, so it's not overly long, and in that case anyway. So we should be able to get through it, and I'm really excited to complete a module. But why don't we just jump straight into character creation? I believe I'm gonna go first. However, I don't think it didn't let me add my my player's handbook, so sorry everyone. Oh no.
I made you a GM for no reason.
Yeah. Now I've seen all of the pieces.
Time to cancel.
I'm like, yeah. There's my.
You have it active in your account settings?
Yeah.
Huh.
Do you have it?
No, I still have SRD stuff.
Yeah.
Although I haven't reset the game since you may have adjusted things. Hang on.
Yeah, I haven't touched anything. It was just I'm the GM, so I don't know if it like.
Maybe you have to exit and relaunch the game for it to kick
Oh
in.
no, you have to add it into the game.
Yeah, where though?
So
Go to your.
It's in this game settings, but it doesn't allow me to do it. Just gives me API scripts. That's it. Anyway, you guys are screwed. Sorry. But I believe we're doing standard array, right?
So on the main game, it says Waterdeep Dragon Heist launch game. 2 things down, it says game add-ons. Can you add the player book there?
I don't have it. Yeah, it doesn't have that option for me. Yeah, usually you can go to settings and go to game settings and then add it, but it doesn't give me that option.
Yeah. Okay.
Strange.
But we are doing the standard array.
+1.
Standard array plus, yeah, +1 on all.
Yep.
Yep. So, in that case. Okay, there we go.
This is how I want it to go.
Okay. You tell me.
You say what you're playing.
Okay.
And then you go through the character mancer.
Yep.
And then you kind of want to say what you want to get out of this character, like why you wanted to play it, like what's your end goal. Not necessarily, you don't have to have the end goal like down pat. It's just like something you want to work towards.
Okay.
Just so that we as a audience can see like
Progression.
character development.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna be playing a draconic bloodline sorcerer, a gnome sorcerer, forest gnome.
No.
I have this Roll20 game for Alex and I where it's just character creation. Like that's all we do is just create a bunch of different characters. So I was trying to create like one of each race, one of each class, and I had a couple that I wanted to choose, and then I was rewatching Court of Swords because Alex is watching it and trying to catch up. And one of my favorite characters on it is a forest gnome. And so I was like, oh, a gnome will be really, really cool. And then adding like a draconic bloodline I thought was like interesting for a forest gnome. Seems different. And so those were my racing class. And then in terms of my ability scores, it goes strength is 9. So that's what I threw my dump stat in. And then dexterity is 15. Constitution's 15, so is intelligence, because it's all +1, because that's what Alex is giving us. And then at wisdom 11 and charisma 16, so I still have a good charisma for my spell casting. In terms of that, I think I took the hermit background, so have been alone for a little bit. I don't know my character's name quite yet, but I think he's going to be a little bit older, probably part of my forest gnome clan or whomever I am a part of. When you do have like an innate spell casting, you kind of have to just go learn on your own and figure it out, because your magic can be somewhat temperamental and can potentially do more harm than good before you've figured it out. So that's why he does his hermitage. Get lost in my own thoughts often. So there might be a time where I'm talking and all of a sudden I start to stare out into space, or if we're in a social setting, I might be doing my own thing, thinking about what I need to think about. I try and spread the ideologies and philosophies of my people. I think it is very important. The person who was kind of the leader I felt was wise, so I wanted to share that stuff. However, I am still free thinking. I definitely like to be curious. It's part of it, is trying to figure out other things and maybe a way to enhance not only my life but others. I'm loyal to a fault, probably. And I might risk a little bit too much for the knowledge. Other than that, I think my general character's motivations is magic can be expensive, especially if you're using things that are consumables in terms of for spells. So money is definitely a motivating factor as he's coming out of his hermitage, and also just kind of sharing what he's learned through that. In terms of spells, just so you guys know, I'm not going to keep anything a secret. My cantrips are Minor Illusion, Acid Splash, Light Message, and Poison Spray. I did take green, so a green dragon, so that's why I took kind of the poison style spells, cantrips. And then I took Chromatic Orb and Color Spray. Those are the ones that I chose. If any of you guys have any questions about my character, feel free to ask.
Yeah, so we don't need to know your alignment, because that'll be fun to figure out.
Yeah.
But if you guys were around for the like hype show, I guess you could call it, that we did in Castle, Mitch and I'm gonna be playing and rewarding RP heavily. So like Mitch already knows, I want you guys to have negative stats as much as possible, because I mean that's fun to try to see Mitchell with a strength of 9 as a little gnome try to go lift something that he probably can't. And that'll be like the comedic relief in this show, is people who know they're not good at something, but they still want to try it. Like, for example, his wisdom's also 11, so he's not the wisest, but he could probably get away with some rolls, in the sense that he probably would defer in a different campaign to like somebody who's like, oh, okay, who's the wisest? But like, this is all about doing what you want to do. You're kind of like a New York City kind of vibe. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want. This is me living my life in the big city, and it's especially gonna be fun for him coming out of his hermitage to play into that.
Yeah, I've come to Waterdeep to be a star, But yeah, that's kind of what I took. In terms of clothing, I'm not sure if you guys can see the picture, but he's very short, gray white hair, has a beard, just wears kind of normal cloaks, probably without you couldn't really tell too much of his draconic bloodline. Maybe a little bit, and if you see him like really dressed down. A staff that's quite a bit larger than him, but nothing too crazy. I would say probably instead of having a toad, actually he probably would have a toad in forms of the forest gnome his nature there. So, but yeah, so he's got that staff or quarterstaff.
Yeah, so I pulled that up on the main Dragon Heist page for everybody to look at.
Yeah,
if you're on the main Dragon Heist page.
Yeah, anytime you guys have any questions, I also do like to have some form of connection with somebody. So maybe I've met someone before I went on my hermitage. Maybe if there's like a dungeon delver or something, maybe you ran into me in the dungeon or the thing that you were in where I was taking my hermitage or something like that. Or maybe we just literally were at like a food cart or we're walking and we bumped into each other and we had a conversation or some shit like that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that part. At the end, but definitely thank you. When you guys are making your characters, make sure you add on like, hey, maybe this is how you encountered me, or this is how I want to be encountered. So that way, when I do assign you guys your buddies, then you know what to do.
Cool. Well, I think that's me, unless there's anything else that you want from me, Alex.
No, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Anybody want to go next?
Everybody's jumping up.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Cool.
I've got a character sheet.
But there's nothing in it.
I'm playing a drow rogue.
Interesting.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I'm playing a rogue is because as a longtime DM, especially like 5th, man, I'm always like, fucking rogues. My shit like all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it should be fun to play like something that can occasionally make a DM say, fucking rogues. So
I have a feeling I'll be saying that a lot with you, Mondo.
Because rogues are cool, man. I debated like back and forth like a lot of different classes, but I just finally settled on rogue.
Rogue's a good choice. You might get us into trouble in Waterdeep, though. We'll see.
Maybe, we'll see. I haven't decided exactly like how roguish. Like I don't know like what archetype I'm aiming for yet. I'm back and forth on that too, but I've got a little bit before I have to.
I feel like if you steal anything, then it's like thief.
Just bends over to help someone. Thief.
Yeah.
For background, I'm choosing Far Wanderer.
Oh, cool. From Sword Adventures.
Far Traveler,
Yeah.
Far Traveler from Sword Adventures.
Yeah.
Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Because like I'm on the run, sort of, perhaps from the Underdark. Like maybe the drow community I used to live in didn't really like me all that much because I'm roguish, and the leaders are constantly like, oh, fucking rogue.
Hear that?
So I've made my way to the outside world, where the sun is bright and everybody is weird. Because I definitely am gonna play. Like he has not had a lot of experience with other people. Like he's not like one of those drows constantly like running into folks in the Underdark and being like, oh hey, look, dwarves. So he's gonna be a little bothered, I think, by the way people on the surface live. So
cool.
But yeah, what was I gonna say about that? That gives me like I'm gonna have to like add. I have to like do a custom background, but that gives me like that gives me insight and persuasion, so I can add that in later. And my ability scores. Let me. So you're saying it's
standard array +1.
Standard array +1. All right, so I'm gonna obviously like I'm gonna bump up the dex.
Have to.
No.
And I think my con is gonna be like my dump stat. I think so. I'm gonna have a 9 Constitution.
Interesting.
And then,
Makes sense.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
What is it? It's 15, 14. So that would be so my next one would be like a 15. I make my intelligence 15, wisdom 14, charisma 13. Am I getting the numbers right there?
15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. So add 1 to all of those. I'll post it in the chat. What it should be. At least.
All right, so I've got like a 9. I've got like a 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. Is that right?
So it should be that in the chat.
I see it there.
Without your racial bonuses.
Out the racial bonuses.
Without the racial bonuses.
Oh, sorry, that 8 should be a 9.
Okay, all right. So then I'm good. 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, 9. Okay.
And Mondo, hit us with the strength decks, like in order for me.
Sure. Strength of 11, Dex of 18, Constitution 9, Intelligence 15, Wisdom 14, and Charisma 14. That's with my my bonuses.
The racial bonuses.
Yeah.
What did you say Ant was?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Just updating the overlay too.
He's going to be a bit of a smarty pants.
That's good.
Because, yeah, smart's good.
Smart is good. It's never bad. Unless you roll bad.
And I've probably gotten into some sort of trouble, like not necessarily like roguish trouble, but just like, just being awkward and hanging out in Waterdeep. So, I mean, that's probably how like people may have met me. Where was your hermitage, man? Where were you a hermit at?
It would probably be in neighboring mountain range, probably just with some of the bloodline that I have. I don't know if I would have necessarily gone like super deep or anything like that, but let's see if this fits.
I'd say most of my relationships probably would have come from like possibly getting into some sort of trouble because of like a social what's the word I'm looking for? Misunderstandings.
Right. I don't know how much we would have come in contact with one another, but we might have bumped into each other. Maybe we could have potentially bumped into one another somewhere, and we kind of like didn't necessarily agree on something. Or like I bumped into you, but you bumped into me. You know.
All right. See you later.
Yeah. You smell.
Or not. You're a hermit.
You smell.
But,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, what else do you need from me off the bat, Alex? Do you need my personality traits and stuff, or
that'd be cool, just so that we can get a sense of what you're trying to roleplay as.
Sure. Let's let me see. I can't roll them randomly.
You can if you want.
It's fun. Well, that's true. I could. I could just roll.
That'd be fun.
Where's all my macros?
They're gone.
Macros. Ha.
I have a strong code of honor or sense of propriety that others don't comprehend. And I begin or end my day with small traditional rituals that are unfamiliar to those around me. So that's fun.
What's your AC?
Oh, I haven't
done that stuff.
Armor yet, but
HP?
HP, my starting HP will be 7.
Yeah, man, we're gonna be squish.
They gotta hit me.
Fair. Fair point, sir.
I think my starting AC would be 15.
It's gonna be something like that, with like leather armor and
Leather
then
armor,
plus
right,
4.
Leather armor is armor class 11 plus 4, so yeah, it would be 15 would be my armor class. All right, so ideals, bonds, and flaws. Let me take a look. Let me do the 3d6 on that. Where are my macros? My ideal is suspicious. I must be careful, for I have no way of telling friend from foe here. Which makes sense. Because I don't know what it's like, but I've heard that drow people don't like them. Everybody suspects me, man.
You've learned that pretty quickly after coming up from the Underdark.
Yeah. And though I had no choice, I lament having to leave my loved ones behind. I hope to see them again one day. That's my bond.
Aww.
Yeah. My mom, my pa. Well, mostly my ma. Because, drow society.
Mm-hmm.
That other role is a dos. I pretend not to understand the local language in order to avoid interactions.
Me no speak English. I like it, yeah.
I like that. So I will keep those. I like them all.
That's so great.
I love random rolling.
Random rolling is good unless it makes you wind up with like 3 monks.
That's true. It can do that.
Yeah.
3 very different monks.
They were 3 very different monks.
One didn't even like to help his teammates fight things. Like, no, I'm good.
But he was handy with the heals once he got that archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I deal with people, I'm just very aloof until I get to know you. I'm like, yeah, I'll pretend not to understand the language, or probably try to walk away from people.
So we have Mitch coming to Waterdeep from Hermitage, maybe not feeling his way through the big city just quite yet. And then we have Mondo coming to the big city from an unknown place, who knows that people are suspicious of him, but still doesn't like to communicate with them.
Yeah. Right, like people would be like, hey, are you one of those drow? And I'd be like, no. No. Like, it's like kind of slink away.
You guys watch That 70s Show? You guys ever watch that? You know the episode where they go to Canada to get beer and Fez forgets his green card? Yeah. This is what I'm thinking. Like, every time someone comes up to him, he's just like, not like, what does he say? And he's like, bee doo bee bow doo bee. Like, doesn't say anything. Like, that's all it is. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Get away from me. Stop talking. I like that, though. And for somebody who doesn't like talking to people, 14 charisma is not.
Yeah, exactly.
You
like,
can, but yeah.
Right. I just don't like to.
Interesting.
But I might use that charisma to be like, oh, hey, I've got something to do. I left the thing on.
The last thing is a name, if you want to provide it, as well as a description of your character.
His name is Zane, which is short for Kayazane Vesorum. But people just call him Zane. Like, the few friends he's made, like, since leaving, call him Zane because they don't want to pronounce that whole thing.
Makes sense. When you introduce yourself, how do you do? That's how you do it?
Depending who I'm talking to, yes. Like, just like common folk, like just hanging about. It's like, oh, hey, you seem cool. Like I would just introduce myself as Zane, but something more kind of like I do in real life, actually. So it's not really role play. It's like, like random people I meet, like, here or there, like I tell them my name's Mondo. If it's a little more official and someone's like, so what's your name? I'm just like, oh, it's Armand Charpentier the second. So it'd probably be, along those like same lines. Like, if I meet you at a bar, I'm going to tell you that my name is Zane.
Okay.
If you're trying to, if you're some sort of like city official, I'm probably going to give you like my full name.
Right. Yeah.
If I can't pretend not to understand you and sneak away.
Yeah, I would never introduce myself to a potential boss as Mitch. I would never do it. I don't actually think I've ever called myself Mitch in my entire life. Somewhere uncomfortable. I don't mind if people call me it, but yeah. So that's interesting. Cool.
But despite the picture there, it's like I mean, that's what he'd look like when he's adventuring. But I mean, he kind of just, he wears a cloak and, like not like a shadowy kind of cloak, but just like he just tries to appear like just one of the guys. But he does have the typical drow features, the dark skin, his eyes are reddish, his hair is long and white, and he's going to be drow are kind of shorter than your average elf. So I've decided he's going to be like 5'4". He's going to be on the smaller side, and yeah. Aside from that, I mean, he's going to be kind of like, a nondescript as much as you can be for like a drow. He's not going to be like flashy or just like, look at me, I'm a handsome drow guy.
Right. Cool.
Unless he needs to be.
I'm curious what you're going to take your expertise in. You don't have to tell me, but I'm curious as a person, If that is everything, we'll move on to whoever wants to volunteer next.
I suppose I can go next. Okay, let's see here. So I'm playing a tiefling paladin called Morius. Not using the standard tiefling, pulled one of the sub-races out of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, specifically Zariel. So instead of a boost +1 to intelligence, it's a +1 to strength. And the innate spells are switched around a little bit, but yeah, let's see here. As far as his stats go, 16 strength, 11 dex, 14 constitution, 9 intelligence, 13 wisdom, and 18 in charisma. So he's perhaps not the most intelligent or learned person, but he's definitely does his best to be helpful and give some insight where he can.
Can you read him off one more time, starting with strength?
16, 11, 14,
oh, come
9.
on. Okay.
13 and 18.
13, 18. Cool.
And at the moment, his equipment just consists of some of his more. As his background, he was an acolyte. Being a tiefling, he's of course not exactly tolerated by most folk, or at the very least viewed with some heavy distrust. So he ended up in an orphanage ran by a church, and brought in by them. One of the priests kind of helped try to teach him, hey, I know everyone just doesn't like you, and you're going to be crapped on for most of your life, but you don't have to be what they think you are. So he's been kind of struggling between just giving into the hate. It's like, you know what? If you want to treat me as a monster, then fine. I'll be a monster and freaking smash your face in. He's struggling between that aspect and trying to be the better person, trying to show them that, hey, not all tieflings are literal devil spawn. And that's kind of how I'm going to be trying to grow his character, as I haven't really decided which oath I'm going to go with him yet. As if he ends up leaning more towards trying to be a nicer person, I'll probably have him go redemption. And if he decides to say, screw it, I'm going to kill everything I can find, I'm going to go Oath of Conquest on him.
Cool.
Favorite weapon is a shield in one hand, Morningstar in the other. Just running in and smashing faces if someone does irritate him enough to warrant it. And yeah, any questions?
Have to go through your personality traits and
Oh yes, personality traits.
ideals, bonds, flaws.
Let's see here. His personality, he tends to be a little bit more on the quieter side, likes to observe, hang back a bit. Again, he doesn't, when at all possible, he doesn't like to draw attention to himself, just simply because of his appearance frightening most people. Or although when he does have to step in, he does speak with purpose. He doesn't try to stumble over his words, and he just tries to help as much as he can. As far as ideals go, he tries to help who he can and protect those who can't be protected. Bonds I haven't quite decided on yet, and then flaws would be the one time where he doesn't really hold back is when someone insults his heritage or just how he is as looks or is as a person. And at that point, he might get a little uppity or a little angry with them. Yeah.
Dope. Super, super cool. Is that everything for you? I think that's everything.
Equipment, stats, personality stuff. Yeah. And I suppose, as far as connections go for any of the other characters, I suppose it could be, I mean, he did serve as an acolyte, and once he graduated from the orphanage slash church school there, he kind of just ended up wandering around, helping who he could, and traveling from place to place. So he could have met somebody during his travels. He could have helped somebody at some point. Some different options in regards to that.
Cool. We have another volunteer, or are we gonna flip a coin?
I can go.
Cool.
I think Alex is muted.
Okay.
I think I go. I'm doing a half-orc rogue as well.
Cool.
Rogue. I have grew up in a small village off the Sword Coast. Have a large family of siblings to avenge me should I pass. I have at least 9 brothers and sisters. Parents are doing well. I went with a background of sailor. Basically, raiders attacked the village, and part of my flight to safety was just jump on a boat. And I've been stuck on that boat ever since for a little bit. I'm just recently getting free of that and finding my way amongst the seedier side of Waterdeep or any other town that I've made my way through to get here. Stat-wise, so far, I have an 18 strength, 14 dex, 16 con, an 11 intelligence, 9 wisdom, and 13 charisma. So I get talked into things pretty easily. But I am a staunch friend. My personality is my friends know they can rely on me no matter what. So if they can convince me it's a good idea, I'm on board and I'll help them out. For ideals, I'm committed to my crewmates. So people like concept gods, things like that. I don't care. I'm just committed to the people around me, or at least a good crew that I can get in with. My bond, I've been cheated out of my fair share of profits, and I really want to get my due. From being run out of the village, I was the eldest but shortest of the family. So I've always been pushed around. I mean, I am 6'1", but I'm the shortest in my half fork family. And then on the boat, I got tricked or talked into things, and I've never gotten a fair share there. So I finally got tired of that. And then I'm still trying to get on my own and get my own here, I guess, in Waterdeep now. For flaws, I like to pick up things that are not mine a lot. Mostly if they're loose, not sitting around. I don't go necessarily sneaking into areas, but if I happen by a table and somebody leaves a tip, they may not have left a tip that day. Things like that. Um, I'm open for interacting with anyone. If somebody talks me to a good idea or a trick or so, I can easily be convinced to do a few things that are not good ideas. But I do focus and try to think hard my way through things.
Yeah. So you said that the village was like attacking or being attacked. You just like left your brothers and sisters there.
Well, it was we got separated in the attack,
Okay,
and
cool.
basically like a couple of my brothers like go hide on the boat, and then by the time I was on there, I found that they're mostly okay, at least as far as I believe. I have one family member, I have no idea where they are.
I was just trying to figure out how many family members I had to kill for you.
Well, there's at least 11 there, unless I have other brothers and sisters I don't know of yet. But it's only been a couple years.
Yeah, so I pulled up your character on the Waterdeep Dragon Heist main page. If you want to give us just one more description.
Oh yes,
Good for you.
as you can see there, I have my hair grown out a little bit, very unkempt. I have a few tattoos from my sailing time. One of them is just a horrible, probably ill-advised tattoo that I got drunk or was convinced to have. Probably some dwarven god or symbol or so. I have a pair of short swords that I usually prefer to deal with. I smoke because I smoke a cigar or smoke at times because most everybody else did on the boat. So I figured that was what I'm supposed to do. And yeah, I just like to be moody in corners on occasion.
And friend of the cats.
Yes, yes. I will feed cats. I will order milk on occasion. I don't have a cat currently. I had to leave the one on the boat. I could not take it with me, but I'm a little sour about that.
Sad.
Perfect.
Oh, and I'm gonna go with the name of Torg and Little Tusk, only because I was short.
Short.
Yeah, amongst my family. After I explain it, I talk too long. I could go into it, but yes, I'm short.
No, it'll be funny when you run into Mitchell's character for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm Little Tusk. That makes you extra Little Tusk.
Yeah. Best friends.
I think that is everything. Oh, so your like main ideal is to just like get money as much as possible.
Well, I want to get my due, and I also want to get finally where I'm not like being bossed around by like everybody. I want to be able to build my own life finally now that I've gotten off the ship. And at least, if I need to surround myself with friends that I can trust, I'll do that. But none of them are going to be the boss of me.
Perfect.
You're not the boss of me.
Tells that to the what is it called? Drow. Drow excuses himself away from the conversation. So that just leaves Max, I believe.
Yeah, I'm playing a Duergar monk called Donmuo. The reason he went to a monastery is he wanted to look for a way to avenge his brother's stock taken by an Oni, which is background is haunted. It's a haunted one.
Interesting.
Cool.
His stats are 17, 15, 15, 11, 14,
Yep.
and 9.
Awesome.
What else am I missing? My primary traits. I refuse to become a victim. and I will not allow others to be victimized. I don't run from evil, evil runs from me. My ideal is I'm a monster that destroys other monsters, and anything else that gets in my way. My bond is I will sacrifice my life and my soul to protect the innocent. My flaw is that I assume the worst of people. I don't know what else I'm missing to say.
He's got an armor class of 14.
Yeah, he's an armor class of 14. HP of 10.
All right, so we got 3 people with double digits. That's nice.
Yeah, so because he's a dark dwarf per se, he's got a lot of traits, so this should be fun.
Yeah, I just need to add everything. Oh, that's lovely.
Other thing is, oh god, how do I do this? Oh no, there we go. Bio and info. Yeah, so if you want to describe your character real quick, what he looks like.
Yes. Well, he's a bit short, gray skin, obviously, white hair, white beard, and yellow piercing eyes.
Nice. Ooh, stat page is all done.
Cool.
I wonder if you and Mondo have had some sort of connection, being, I guess, on the darker side of the race,
Could be.
quote unquote. Eviler side maybe is better.
What was your descriptor?
I used darker, but I meant like darker. Oh, I don't know what the next one I already forgot. I say.
I don't know. I thought you said eviler, but I wasn't sure if I might have misheard that.
Maybe something, but in terms of how you are perceived, I guess eviler would work too, right? In terms of general population,
Right, like people like looking at us, be like, "Ugh,
yeah.
there goes the neighborhood. Here comes the
Yeah,
underdog."
yeah.
3 party members that are going to be looked at quite oddly for a good
Yeah, that's true.
There's literally no humans in this group.
We don't need some. I'm half, I guess. Right?
Yeah, it is. It is a
How
mix.
tall is the tiefling?
Shit. One of the few details I never came up with at the moment. It's probably somewhere around 5'10", 5'11".
Okay, so like average height.
Average height, yeah.
Okay, so like most of us are short, including the tall of us, the tallest of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have 1 shiny boy, 2 stealthy boys, a monkey boy, and a spellcaster boy.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting.
it'll be interesting. And I decided to name my character Erebar. That is my name.
Okay, so on the gear on the far top right, you'll see display name. Can I have you guys change all of your display names to your character names, just so it'll be easier when we start playing?
Yeah, sure.
Instead of
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
Chask, you'll see.
Yeah.
Boom.
Taken care of.
There we go.
Perfect. So it's going to be in the order of character creation. Mitch, you know something, or you have met Zane. You guys can work it out. And then it was Zane to Morius. Yep. And then Morius to Torg to Dormiel, and Dormiel to Erebar.
Cool. And this is I know something of him,
Or
or
you've met
we've
him
met.
before.
Okay.
Yeah, like you've heard a rumor about him, or you've met him before. You guys can work it out. I'll just need to know before we start the session.
Okay.
What's your gnome's name again?
Erebar.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
so that's okay. And Morius is the tiefling.
Tiefling Paladin, yes, sir.
Okay.
All I'm gonna tell, I'm gonna do like the introduction next week. But all I'm gonna tell is Mitch's favorite. You guys are literally starting in a
Hmm.
bar.
Yeah, in a tavern.
Of course.
Yes.
So classic.
So you guys can decide how you get to that tavern. If you come in a pair, if not, it's up to you guys.
Okay.
I will assume that you guys have at least spent a month in Waterdeep, and that's well, at most, sorry, a month in Waterdeep. So you can decide how new you are. You can decide how long you've been here. Just all that fun stuff. You don't necessarily have to make a deep backstory if you don't want to, but the things I need to know are like who you're have a relationship with, how long you've been in Waterdeep, and kind of the general fun things you've been doing.
Fun things in Waterdeep if we've been there for some time too.
Yes. I mean,
Cool.
like you can arrive the day before, but you could still have fun in seeing a very unapproachable tiefling or a drow walk across the street trying not to look at anybody in the eye.
Yeah.
No, excuse me. Sorry. Nope. Nope. Nope.
I'm keeping my head down and I accidentally meet your eye by trying to avoid.
Oof. Yeah, we're all just super short. Oh man.
I mean, there's gnomes.
Yeah. And which season are we starting out in?
God, what did I decide? We're going spring into summer.
Spring into summer. Okay.
I'm so happy to say that means absolutely nothing to me.
Yeah.
All right.
I know that there are seasons in Waterdeep, but like I said, I've been avoiding spoilers so hard.
Let me check one more time. I'm pretty sure it was spring into summer.
I don't remember. I know kind of like what they dictate, but I don't remember exactly what they dictate. If that makes sense.
I mean, what the city is like, basically. What the
Right.
I mean, Portland or Los Angeles or Chicago is going to be doing different stuff in the summer. So basically, that's what.
True. True.
Plus the main villain. Ha ha ha.
Right.
ha, ha.
That's more of what I was talking about.
So I have winter to spring. Yeah.
Winter, spring.
So
Oh,
we're
winter.
starting in winter and we're
Oh.
going to spring.
Starting in winter, going to spring.
Yep.
Interesting. I wonder if like I met somebody going on the road, like I'm coming out of my hermitage, maybe even a little bit sooner than what I would have liked because I ran out of rations and it started to get very cold.
Yeah, you guys were starting like at the first day of winter. So yeah, maybe during the fall while it was starting to get cold.
Yeah.
See, you were that grasshopper. You were having a good time.
Yeah.
And you were making fun of all the ants who were like, stocking up.
Yeah.
And now you're hungry and you're heading to water.
Yeah, I'm like, God. Knew I should have got something. Should have ate all that food.
Dad was right.
Should have stocked up on more Twinkies.
I will call you grasshopper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you better be practicing your gnome voice, Mitchell.
I'll hopefully I'll do something. Hopefully I won't feel too embarrassed to do it. But yeah, maybe I'm meeting somebody on the road into Waterdeep. Something like that. Does anybody have any idea? Does anybody think that they've been there for a while, up to a month, longer than a couple weeks, or?
I know I would. I'd be there about a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already put I've been in Waterdeep for about a month.
Cool. Cool. So maybe you two might have more of a connection then. Both being rogues, probably have similar interests, maybe.
Maybe did a job together.
Yeah, maybe.
Ooh.
I like that.
Stole from the local, did something.
I make good muscle for those things. I can be the thug of the operation.
Yeah, what was it? 18 strength? Whew.
Yeah.
That's a strong
See,
boy.
Yeah, and I went classic rogue, but I always love when other players go with something else when they max out like a different stat other than Dex. I always love that. I went classic, but like I was very pleased with that.
Well, and it fits well for us too. At least we can be, our own, really strongly our own entities in that sense, and still cover that field.
We
Yeah.
have the brutish rogue, and then we have the skillful rogue.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Good cop, bad cop.
I think Morris would have been in the city for very long, maybe a couple weeks at the most.
Yeah. What would Morius be doing in Waterdeep?
I think what have initially would have drawn his attention is just the fact that it's a big city.
Yeah.
Lots of things to do, lots of people that might need help. Maybe he was tasked to run a message there by his friends back at this home, and he said, "Hey, it's a nice city. I'm gonna stick around for a bit, see what I can do here."
Cool. And Max, how long do you think you've been at Waterdeep for?
It's probably about a week.
A week.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just arrived.
Cool. Trying to think of who I might connect with the most.
Well, you're connected to whoever made their character after.
Yeah, or that's true. Yeah, how I would connect. Thane. Maybe if the connection between because it would be Zane to Morius, right? It wouldn't be Zane to Torg. I was gonna say maybe if you guys had done something, I had heard of it in a rumor. But I guess it could still be that case, right? Like, oh, there's this kind of shiftier fellow or something like that that I might get told to stay away from, or
Stay away from me.
keep an eye on, maybe. What do you think, Mondo? What do you think I would know about you if we haven't met?
You would know that I'm a drow and that I don't like talking to people. You might also know that, like, I probably, I'm not sure like how common tieflings are in Waterdeep,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that I would probably be attracted to Morius, like, trying to talk with him and stuff, like hoping, like, this guy might know kind of like what I'm going through, like, people like looking at him like a weirdo.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like this is like a kind of like a kindred spirit. Like, even if we have nothing in common, it's like, people look at you like you suck too.
Yeah.
So
idea I had for Morius and Zane was something kind of along those lines, where maybe Morius walk along, and whether or not Zane had been stealing anything at the time, someone's picking on him and just ranting at him or something, and Morius steps in and gets him to knock it off, and strike up a bit of a conversation out of that.
yeah, and I would definitely that sounds good, and I would definitely talk to you as opposed to like trying to like run away from you, because I'm just like, man, this guy kind of understands. He's
So maybe that's how you're like introduced to me, as like a misfit of some sort. Like, he doesn't talk to many people, but he talks to that guy all the time. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe that's how I would know you. Not super intimate or anything, but just a quick like rumor.
And I probably definitely would have met your eye, like, accidentally, like keeping my head down.
Yeah, right.
If you were walking like anywhere, if you were walking towards me, I would have seen you. Like, shit! Don't look at me. Ignore me.
There's not supposed to be anything down here.
Gnomes and halflings, damn it.
Does it say, Alex, or do you know like how common drow would be in Waterdeep? Because Waterdeep's huge.
Way more common than any other city.
Okay.
There's a good contingent of drow, and they are not looked upon as distastefully as other cities because of that. I mean,
So I might be
people
avoiding
still,
that too because like I'm kind of like exiled from the Underdark, so I might even be avoiding them perhaps.
people are more inclined to believe that Drow are up to no good, but at the same time, there's so many of them that it's like, nah, they can't blame them. Let's find another minority we can bash on. Oh, look, there's a dark dwarf.
Good on him.
Does it say anything in regards to tieflings?
I mean, they're not very common,
They're fine.
Yeah.
and tieflings are assumed to be devil worshippers.
That makes me want to think that maybe Morius is the first tiefling I've ever seen. Be like on a boat in a small village. You know, I see a few raiders.
Yeah, I mean, if you grow up, especially around humans and orcs, and there was no tieflings on the boat, and you walk off and you see a horned individual with a tail.
I would have probably just walked up like, "What are you?"
Oh shit! That's the thing I forgot and never actually gave a proper description of Morius beyond his equipment.
Right.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, 5'10", 5'11". Darker red skin, darker red horns. They're kind of more antelope-y, and they don't spiral so much as just kind of go up and back.
Cool.
And he tries to always tends to hold himself in a more proper shoulders back, chest forward posture, making himself look like less of a target, basically, or less of someone that you want to mess with.
Cool.
Yeah, so I
Formidable.
can see just totally walking up out fresh off the boat, just like, "What are you?" And then just innocently asking, like, just very curious, because first one I've seen.
Literally, a gnome walks by. What are you? You walks by. What are
Oh,
you?
sorry, not you, little one, but that
What?
guy.
We're just a collection of rocks, like for him. Like we're just a collection of different things.
A Goliath walks by. What are you?
That's great. Man.
Yeah, that's about all I need from you guys on stream. You guys can work out your interpersonal relationships.
Cool.
You have a week.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a good week.
Excellent.
Do any of you guys have any questions for Alex?
No, I want to be completely surprised.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna be like, what? Like
Yeah,
twist?
so a good 15 to 20 minutes of next episode's gonna be like your intro to Waterdeep and
The syllabus. The
yeah,
The
your
Waterdeep syllabus, yeah.
Study up. No, I mean like because all I've told you is it's like a city.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be winter, and that's about it. So it'll be helpful once you know each other, because then you can like work that into the story, like particularly when, because I mean it's gonna be fall when you met each other.
Mhm.
So apart from that, I already told Mitchell, but if you use a spell that has a component and it is consumed, then you need to have that component. It's not like you don't have to burn a diamond or whatever. But we're probably not going to worry about that, seeing as we're only getting up to like level 5.
Right.
Couple of them maybe, but
Yeah,
oh,
we really-
that's a good question. Is Waterdeep based off of checkpoints?
Yeah, it is milestones.
Yeah.
So there's 5 or 6 chapters. So every chapter you level up at the end,
Cool.
no matter how long the chapter is.
For
Now,
sure.
I know this is premature, but are we going to go into the next one after?
We might. We'll see.
I said that thing. I was like, yeah, and then we'll just jump into Mad Mage. And Alex was like, whoa. He's like, let's just get this figured out. I'm like, oh, come on. Like,
come on,
let's
I
just
won't
do it.
play. Come on.
Let's just do
Yeah.
it.
Alex doesn't get to play. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See which
Fun.
characters survive.
Yeah, who can get it all the way through?
I mean, the good thing is you're in the middle of a city that looks favorably upon adventurers. So you could
Yeah.
literally just pick another adventurer right off the street and start playing as them.
Right.
If you do die.
In the credits, just first character's like name, and then it's Street Guy 1, Street Guy 2, Street Guy 3. Just terrible.
Should I like have a backup character immediately so the second I die, I can just be like, Wow, that drow, man.
Did you see
Teacher
that guy just
inspired.
get butchered on the street? Can I join you?
My name's Frank.
Uh, my name
I'm
is
Fighter Frank. Nice to meet you.
I'm playing as the bandit who kills one of your party members, and you happen to be the bandit as your second character. Like, oh, sorry for doing that. I just killed myself.
Well, if that is everything, then we are good to go. And we will be ready for next week. 6 o'clock and playing for about 3.5, 4 hours long. Yeah, that's everything. Be looking for us next week. Tomb of Annihilation is going to be on Sunday. Antonine on Saturday, Mondo?
Every other.
Every other, so not this Saturday.
It'll be the following.
Following Saturday, which is also the premiere of Trinity: The Chosen Few. So we'll have 2 shows on that guy. So
When is character creation for that?
not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Be session 0 premiere. Yeah. And yeah, that's everything. Everyone have a great night, and we will see you guys next week.